know I came through. You know I came through with the fuego. You know I came through. Hey, you know I came through. You know I came through with the fuego. You know I came through. Hey, you know I came through. Nowadays, I cannot lay low. I cannot.
Hi all, I am your Jess. Welcome back to my channel Everything with English. In this video you are to know about nonverbal communication. Let's get started. Nonverbal communication is the transmission of messages or signals through a nonverbal platform such as eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, posture, and the distance between two individuals. It includes the use of visual cues such as body language, kinesics, distance, proxemics, and physical environments, appearance, of voice, paralanguage, and of touch, haptics. It can also include the use of time, chronemics, and eye contact, and the actions of looking while talking and listening, frequency of glances, patterns of fixation, pupil dilation, and blink rate. Speech contains nonverbal elements known as paralanguage, including voice quality, rate, pitch, loudness, and speaking style, as well as prosodic features such as rhythm, intonation, and stress. So written texts have nonverbal elements such as handwriting style, spatial arrangement of words, or the physical layout of a page. However, much of the study of nonverbal communication has focused on interaction between individuals, where it can be classified into three principal areas: environmental conditions where communication takes place, physical characteristics of the communicators, and behaviors of communicators during interaction. Nonverbal communication represents 2/3 of all communications. Nonverbal communication can portray a message both vocally and with the correct body signals or gestures. Body signals comprise physical features, conscious and unconscious gestures and signals, and the mediation of personal space. The wrong message can also be established if the body language conveyed does not match a verbal message. Nonverbal communication and body language. Your facial expressions, gestures, posture, and tone of voice are powerful communication tools. Here's how to read and use body language to build better relationships at home and work. What is body language? While the key to success in both personal and professional relationships lies in your ability to communicate well, it's not the words that you use but your nonverbal cues of body language that speak the loudest. Body language is the use of physical behavior, expressions, and mannerisms to communicate nonverbally, often done instinctively rather than consciously. Whether you're aware of it or not, when you interact with others, you're continuously giving and receiving wordless signals. All of your nonverbal behaviors, the gestures you make, your posture, your tone of voice, how much eye contact you make, send strong messages. They can put people at ease, build trust, and draw others towards you, or they can offend, confuse, and undermine what you're trying to convey. These messages don't stop when you stop speaking either. Even when you're silent, you're still communicating nonverbally. Nonverbal communication can play 5 roles. Repetition. It repeats and often strengthens the message you're making verbally. Contradiction. It can contradict the message you're trying to convey, thus indicating to your listener that you may not be telling the truth. Substitution. It can substitute for a verbal message. For example, your facial expression often conveys a far more vivid message than words ever can. Complementing. It may add to or complement your verbal message. As a boss, if you pat an employee on the back in addition to giving praise, it can increase the impact of your message. Accenting. It may accent or underline a verbal message. Pounding the table, for example, can underline the importance of your message. Types of nonverbal communication. The many different types of nonverbal communication or body language include facial expressions. The human face is extremely expressive, able to convey countless emotions without saying a word. And unlike some forms of nonverbal communication, facial expressions are universal. The facial expressions for happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, and disgust are the same across cultures. Body movement and posture. Consider how your perceptions of people are affected by the way they sit, walk, stand, or hold their head. The way you move and carry yourself communicates a wealth of information to the world. This type of nonverbal communication includes your posture, bearing, stance, and the subtle movements you make. Gestures. Gestures are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. You may wave, point, beckon, or use your hands when arguing or speaking animatedly, often expressing yourself with gestures without thinking. However, the meaning of some gestures can be very different across cultures. While the "okay" sign made with the hand, for example, usually conveys a positive message in English-speaking countries, It's considered offensive in countries such as Germany, Russia, and Brazil. So, it's important to be careful of how you use gestures to avoid misinterpretation. Eye contact. Since the visual sense is dominant for most people, eye contact is an especially important type of nonverbal communication. The way you look at someone can communicate many things, including interest, affection, hostility, or attraction. Eye contact is also important in maintaining the flow of conversation and for gauging the other person's interest and response. Touch. We communicate a great deal through touch. Think about the very different messages given by a weak handshake, a warm bear hug, a patronizing pat on the head, or a controlling grip on the arm, for example. Space. Have you ever felt uncomfortable during a conversation because the other person was standing too close and invading your space? We all have a need for physical space, although that need differs depending on the culture, the situation, and the closeness of the relationship. You can use physical space to communicate many different nonverbal messages, including signals of intimacy and affection, aggression, or dominance. Voice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. When you speak, other people read your voice in addition to listening to your words. Things they pay attention to include your timing and pace, how loud you speak, your tone and inflection, and sounds that convey understanding, such as a and ah. Think about how your tone of voice can indicate sarcasm, anger, affection, or confidence.